is everyone? Good to see you. Guys like my palm trees back here? We just had them planted yesterday. There's stones surrounding them, and I made a little short video this morning and watering the palm trees, not to rub it in to the people in the Northeast, but I'm sure that's the way they took it. I'm rubbing it in and I'm watering palm trees, and it's freezing up in New York right now. No, I'm not gloating, and I'm not purposely watering the palm trees so you guys can suffer in whatever the temperature is there. So how's everyone doing today? I'm only there's starting to be some people. I don't see any. There's 6 people in the chat. One with the thumbs up. Here we go. Michelle Lipscomb. I'm here. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you. Hugo Stiglitz III. Hey Sarge. Crappy in Boston. Angelia Wilcox, hello. Good to see you. This is really like quiet. I'm really drinking coffee today. You ever make your coffee in the morning and you realize you didn't make it strong enough? It's like worthless when it doesn't have that kick to it. Scotty Wagner is in the chat. Good to see you, Scotty. Moonlight View, morning, Supreme Commander. Love that. Take a little. I made the coffee correctly the second time around. Coffee's always better the second time around. Isn't that what they say? Aunt BB2, good morning, Supreme Commander. Angelia Wilcox, snow in central New York. Little Mermaid, hi Bill and everyone in the chat. Good to see all you guys. Did anyone watch the show last night with Duty Ron? Started at 9 p.m. with retired FBI agent Jennifer Kaffendorfer. I really like her. She has that huge mane of hair. I said, that's not hair, that's a mane. M-A-N-E. She thought she got a kick out of that. Kim Allison, hi Sergeant Bill. Watch you on Duty Run show. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes I get, I don't know, too emotional, but that's me, I guess, Moonlight View was excellent. Mary, yes. Thank you guys for all coming by last night. Duty Ron is a much different host than me. He's really good. I mean, he has that real laid back persona, And as I said, I'm a little more emotional. Talks to angels. 43 degrees in Brooklyn. I guess here today it's like 75, 80. It doesn't change that much. It's around that. And BB2, you just said what we all think. Well, thank you so much. I think that, there's a lot of people on YouTube that are on it for the wrong reasons, Tess, Kira, you are a great host too. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. There's a lot to being one eye open. Hi Bill, I will definitely have to go watch that. She is very lucky with that hair. She's a beautiful woman, highly intelligent. Absolutely. I'm actually going to get her information. I'm going to bring her on my show as a guest. I know she's Duty Ron's guest, but you know something? I introduced Barbara Butcher to Duty Ron. Yeah, that's right. You guys didn't know that. And he's been her most successful. She did an episode, and maybe you guys don't know this, but she did an episode that got 1.9 million, with an M, million views on Duty Run's channel. And the topic was Gabby Petito's autopsy. Charlie, hey y'all. Love those purplish hearts. Very nice, very nice. 38 in the chat, 18 thumbs up. Sharing is caring. She's interesting, so bring her on. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to have her. And also I like Lisa Lockwood a great deal, and I'm going to try to bring her on. The only problem is that these guys, these guests are so busy. They're just very busy people, because, people that are achievers, usually they're busy, And so, yeah, Lisa Lockwood, she's great. So, we were talking about, of course, the Michael Vaughn case, and I checked out today, and there's been no new activity in that case. They're still searching the property, and they say they may be there for another week. You sort of can't put an open and closed-ended time that you're going to search for the remains of a 5-year-old boy that's been missing for 16 months. You sort of have to do it as long as you think that it can potentially be fruitful, and they're not going to walk away from this. So they're staying there potentially for another week. And what the show was about last night was that some people, YouTube content creators, basically were crossing the line of what their job is and what is ethical and what is honest and integrity. And we spoke from, a law enforcement perspective about what we think crosses the line and what is okay, Kim Allison, Sergeant Bill, love your passion. Thank you so much, Kim. You're such a great supporter of this show and Duty Ron's show, and seems like you're always in the audience, and I appreciate that. I really do. Guys, so we were talking about that last night, how some people call up principals in the case, whether the principal be a potential perpetrator or a potential witness. Content creators interview those people, and it's wrong. We say it's wrong because it is wrong. The investigation for these cases belongs to law enforcement. It's a different thing when a case goes cold and investigative reporters, and I don't agree with the fact that YouTube content creators are investigative reporters or journalists in any way. Unless you have the credentials to be a journalist, what you're doing is you're creating content, and there is entertainment into these real crime shows. Look, we do it, and we recognize there's an entertainment factor, but there's also, we as former police officers, I believe we have a level of integrity and and a level, integrity and honesty, and there's certain things we won't cross the line on, and interviewing potential suspects is not okay. It's not okay. Interviewing suspects before the police do, that can really, really. Sleuth NC, good morning, Sergeant Bill. Good morning. Good to see you. 48 in the chat, 28 with the thumbs up. Where's all my folks from across the pond? We're missing so many people from Ireland. Where are all the Irish people? Before I came down here, I had gone to a benefit for the Irish Arts Council at the Chelsea Piers. One eye open, Bill, I'm concerned about the neighbor also with his past record events. Yeah, something. If you live in a neighborhood and you have the ability to run sex offenders in your neighborhood, I recommend you do so. You can do that on the internet, and every state has that. Because it's good to know where these dirtbags live, if they in fact live near you, And just think of the horror that either this little boy was kidnapped off the street, or this little boy walked into a house with the devil in it, to put it bluntly, And just imagine living in a neighborhood where you had to worry about that. You had to worry to screen and to protect your kids from that. Lovebug53, hello Bill, love you, you're awesome. Thank you, Lovebug53. Love that name. Lovebug, those little Volkswagen bugs. That was great, right? That was a Patricia Burns. Yeah, we don't want creators playing at professions they know nothing about and ruining cases. Absolutely, and there's people out there that they want to disagree with Ron and I, and that's fine. It's a free country. You can disagree with us, but law enforcement deserves to be able to do their job unencumbered. Someone just brought up Amanda Bearden, who is Debbie Collier's daughter, and she's been on that podcast, and she was spent an hour and a half, and one of the hosts of that podcast is her cousin. And I feel the same way. I don't believe what she says. I think she's, first of all, she's a drug addict. She's got mental health issues. I think she makes up a lot of stuff. She finds a hard time telling the truth. And when she says things and purportedly quotes the police, I don't believe a word she says. But obviously we were all waiting on the Debbie Collier case. We're waiting for the results of the autopsy, and we're waiting for the results of the toxicology. Until we get that, we can't really refute the things that... Good morning, crime crew. Sergeant George Eshog, good to see you, buddy. Even currently active law enforcement personnel don't like having their investigators disturbed by... No, absolutely not. You know, on the police department, we tread very carefully when we go into the territory of another investigation. That's why on the NYPD there's a thing called kites, you know. Uh, Hello, Bill. Do not underrate yourself or this show. Police off the cuff. Yeah, we have a different audience than Duty Ron. I think Duty Ron's been doing this a couple of years longer than me. And, you know, it's funny how I really started really doing this in a different way. When I first started out, I was with Mark DeMeo, who's a really good comic. And we started doing this podcast, and it was more supposed to be like comedic. And I didn't sort of like the way, and I didn't like being second fiddle. So I started doing it myself on our channel and doing real crime stories. And then it took off, and our audience took off. And I've been doing it that way since for about, I don't know, a year and a half now. And it's being the host it's tough. It's difficult. It's not easy, you know, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. And I sort of attribute being halfway decent at it from my, thank you, Lovebug53, from my experience as a trained actor and my experience as a stand-up comic. You know, all of that sort of blazed the way for me to feel comfortable doing this. And I used to always think, wow, how can you just go up on the screen and go up and do a show and talk for 45, 50 minutes or an hour? How could you do that? And now I have to watch myself because I could go over. I talk too much, you know. Kim Allison, Sergeant Bill, good to see the subscribers has increased again. Thank you guys, and thank all of you folks for helping me do that. Yeah, I mean, I used to think like, how could I talk for an hour? How could I talk for 15 minutes? How could I talk for a half hour? And then when I first, after all, no other cop show will have Broadway level singing. Well, thank you so much. Cherry Pie for me, love this channel. From Canada, from north of the border. The great hockey players are all from Canada, right? Isn't that the truth? Yum, yeah. Okay. When I talks to angels, you're very clever, Bill. You know, I went to college in Buffalo. The people from Buffalo loved our New York accent, and they used to always tease us out about how we said beer. Beer. Let's get a beer. And you know, and I was a broadcast journalism major, so I didn't love to hear that I had this thick New York accent, because if you notice, most broadcasters, most journalists, they have that Midwestern accent. But I always wondered, you know, like when they say, oh, even for acting, you shouldn't have an accent. Doesn't Robert De Niro have a New York accent? I don't think he ever worked at getting rid of his New York accent. Doesn't Al Pacino have a New York accent? I think they do, you know. So how is that? How did when they go audition? Well, probably they don't even audition for a movie. When they get a movie role as the Andrew DeGroot. Good evening, Billy Boy. Just got in from work. Good to see you, Andrew. Amanda Lottie. Hey, Bill, how's it going? It's going great. I love it down here. You know something? I don't know what it's like to be here in the summertime. After all, loves the New York accent. Used to say I love New York, but not sure with the Dems. Charmaine Murray, it's the only American accent I love. Exactly the point you made, a more relaxed presentation. Hello from Connecticut, Marcelini Shalini. Wow, that rhymes. Marcelina Shalini. July, I'm here for the accent. That's the first I've heard that, but some people do like it. But I'm just saying, do they tell Robert De Niro, oh, you can't have your New York accent in this role? Do they tell Al Pacino that? Do they tell other New York accent? Chaz Palminteri? Do they say, lose that Bronx accent? I don't think so, you know. But if you're in, after all, Sergeant Bill, congratulations. Long Island is deep red. I grew up in Levittown, Long Island, you know. Lived out there my first, 23, 24 years on this earth, going away to college in between. Julie, Chaz is the best. I love him. We had him on the show. He's a really interesting character. Scotty Wagner says he's been a fan of this show since the beginning. He's been a guest on the show several times. And we worked together in a 2-3 squad back in 1997, 98, 99, And He's a hell of a good detective, and good guest on the show. Oh my God, I have to find that video. Yeah, we had Chaz on the show, and I actually got him on the show through a friend of mine that I took a comedy class, Cliff Moylan. Cliff Moylan is a real hell of a good actor, and he studied acting with Chaz Palminteri. So he called him for us and said, Chaz, would you go on? And Chaz Palminteri loves the police. So when he heard we were cops, he agreed to come on. And I would love to have him on again because he's a hell of an interesting guest. He does that one-man show in the theater, The Bronx Tale. That originally was, I don't know if you know the story of that. The Bronx Tale was a one-man show before it got made into a movie. And he was in LA working as a bouncer at a bar. And he tells the story how some bigwig from whatever came up to the club and said, sir, I'm sorry, you have to show me your invitation. He goes, do you know who I am? And Chaz says to him, he goes, I don't know who you are, and I really don't care who you are. So the guy was who he said he was, and Chaz got fired for not letting him in. But it inspired him to go home, this is his story, and really work on his writing. And he finished The Bronx Tale back then. And he opened in as a one-man play in a theater. And big-time film producers came up to him and said, I'll give you $500,000 for that script right now. And he said, nah, that's not enough money. And he described that, he said he had about $150 in his bank account at that time. And he turned it down. Then it went up to $1 million. And he said, I'll sell it if you allow me to star in it and direct it. And they, of course, turned him down. And then the show was selling out for months and months and months. And De Niro came to see the show and was like, this is fantastic. And he went backstage and he goes, I'd like to buy your script and I'd like to produce and direct it. And Chaz Palminteri said to him, I'll only do that if you let me play the lead part. And De Niro agreed. He says, okay, I'll play the bus driver. You get to play the lead part. And he sold it, and the rest is history. Great movie, right? And great Broadway show. I had meant to go see it. Love Chaz. I see you have a 2-part video with him. Gotta watch it later. Yeah, great man. So guys, a lot of crazy stuff is happening across the country. We had the shooting on the bus at the University of Virginia. 3 football players were killed by a former football player, and 2 individuals were shot besides those 3 that were killed. I mean, crazy. Like, I don't know what happened in that incident, and they're not really coming out with what happened, but don't people fight anymore? Do they just go right to the gun? It's just crazy. And then, of course, we have at University of Idaho, 4 students, 20 through 21, 1 male and 3 females, were murdered during the night, over the weekend, like 3 or 4 in the morning, and killed with what is only described as an edged instrument, meaning a knife. So far, there's no suspect. I think the police probably have a pretty good idea who did it, because they're telling the community there's no threat to the community, and that the attack was a deadly and targeted attack. So which means to me that the people that were killed by this maniac, he was targeting them. For what reason? We don't know. Who did this? We don't know. Did the police know? I would bet, based on their statements saying that there's no threat to the rest of the campus, the rest of the community, I would bet that they know who did it, and horrific. Can you imagine, you have a son or a daughter, 20, 21 years old, away at college where you think they're safe, and 99% of the time, they are safe. And then something like this happens, or at the University of Virginia. They go on a field trip, and on the bus, 3 20, 21-year-old males had everything to live for in their life. They look like great kids. gets shot and killed on the bus. Another wounded who was critically wounded. And then a female apparently is shot also, but she's apparently going to be okay. I mean, it's baffling. It's baffling to know this stuff, to learn this stuff, and just, yeah, so sad, Heather, whatever. You're right, so sad. Horrendous. Maui Swift's good to see you, Maui. It is horrendous. Outrageous. This is Coffee with Cannon. Backyard beverage. I know you're not recognizing my backyard. I'm in Jupiter, Florida. You like the palm trees? These are new palm trees. They just planted them yesterday. And today I made a short 58-second video of me watering them because Loretta, who is my landlord, wanted to know that I watered the palm trees. So I had to show that I actually did water them. July, this guy was a wonderful athlete and student of the year and twice prior to going to UVA, and he would have played ball had he stayed. Yeah, it's, you know, the football part of it is meaningless. It seems like they're based on an interview with the shooter's father, and I'm not going to name the shooter here, that it seemed like he was having problems with those 3 football players. But there's other ways to handle those things. You don't shoot and kill them. You know, it's just crazy. Sleuth and Sea, gorgeous view here. Snow here in Minnesota. Wow, snow already. Sergeant Bill very sad. The enemy is causing chaos in the world. Kim Alliston. Guys, if this is Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill. If you're not subscribed to us, going on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell. Ring my bell, ring my bell. That old, was that 70s, 80s disco tune? My God. Afternoon all, Pete driving on the road as usual. Rachella's in the house. Conflict resolution, maybe freshman year. Jeffrey Crowley. Hey, how are you, Jeffrey? Good to see you. 69 in the chat, 53 with the thumbs up. I got to bust 100 today. I'm sitting out in this hot yard that pisses people off other than this sitting in 20-degree weather in Minnesota or in New York. The other day was rainy and cold, and I had no idea. And I'm doing a video from the beach saying, oh, here I am. People are like, shut up. It's not even funny. Coffee with Cannon. I forgot that name. That's what this show first was, and it morphed into so many different things. Yeah, so that case with Michael Vaughn, it's a good thing to see. Well, there's nothing good about that case, but I'm happy that the parents aren't implicated in this at all. And we spoke about that last night with Duty Ron and Jennifer Koffendorfer, how in investigations such as that, the first place you look is to the people that are closest to the missing boy, and that's the mother and father. And I think that the Fruitland police cleared them quite early. And I think the Fruitland police now have a pretty good idea what occurred. Scorpio Joe, 10 degrees in the UK. Oof, ouch, ouch. I don't even know where my winter coat is. It's 10 degrees in the UK. Do you know where your winter coat is? I have no idea. Yes, the parents are not the ones that hurt him, Heather, whatever. Absolutely. The parents are really suffering in that case, you know. And again, we went through the whole YouTube content creators, how they overstepped their bounds, and inadvertently, the parents found out that they were searching, the Fruitland police was searching for the remains of Michael Vaughn in that yard. And the police didn't tell them that. These YouTube unscrupulous, dishonest, lack of integrity content creators released that. You see how dangerous that is? And we spoke last night about how, at least in the New York City Police Department, I think most police departments, when we make a death notification, it's department policy that we do it in person. We don't call on the phone. We don't send an email. And if the people that we need to notify are in another state or another country, we will send the police from that jurisdiction via a teletype message. So there's no room for making a mistake. This is what the teletype says. Take that with you to make the notification. Because, you know, if you notify someone by phone, they can misunderstand you. So you send a teletype message, it's written, the police take that to the notification. And, you know, you're telling someone that a loved one is lost, that it is no longer with us. Shouldn't the respect be given to another human being and that be done in person? Patricia Burns, how that couple could watch the harrowing grief of the mom begging for the return of her son and just, yeah, it's horrendous, you know. And, you know, but sometimes when we take a position like that, myself, Duty Ron, Jennifer Koffendorfer, we lose people, but those are the people I don't mind losing, because if they think we're wrong speaking out against that, then they're not our type of people. They don't belong watching police off the cuff real crime stories. And I'll speak for Duty Ron, they don't belong watching Crime Time with Duty Ron, because we have ethics, you know, we have ethics, we have integrity, you know. And for some people that do this, they don't have either, you know. And I don't want to beat a dead horse with this, but you could just see the damage that's possible, the damage that this can cause to people. Come on, visit me, Julie. I have 3 cabins and a house on 20 acres, Lovebug 53. Wow, good for you. Schmitty, hi there. Good to see you, Schmitty. Always good to see you. Heather, whatever. Yes, will be a sorting out time in my choices too. Heather, whatever. I love that name. 78 in the chat, 60 with the thumbs up. This is Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. If you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell. And if you want to support us, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels. And we also have a YouTube channel membership. And if you're on the computer or even here, you could see the folks with the green font. They're part of our YouTube channel memberships, our YouTube family. And we really appreciate all those guys. 21 LA Police, I missed that. After all, you know, yeah, I'm wearing a Manhattan North Homicide shirt. Let me see if I could put this, you could see it. You know what's crazy? And I was just talking about this shirt today. There you go, you could see it, right? Manhattan North Homicide shirt. I've had this shirt for about 15 years, and it's in like perfect condition. And I remember when I went to buy these shirts with a detective, and we went to this place in the Bronx, and we purposely picked this material. It's like that material that they make Under Armour shirts out of. And a lot of the detectives back then, I think that the shirts were like $30, and they were, oh my God, it's so expensive. And here I am 15 years later, and it looks brand new. It's like in perfect condition. So obviously we made a good choice out of the material. And I gave one of these shirts to my father-in-law, and he's worn it every day for 15 years, I think, and it still looks good. It's like crazy. I'm like, man, every time I come over his house, he's wearing the Homicide shirt. And I said, Pop, give that shirt a break, man. I can't believe it's still... Did you see the news about the 20 police recruits plowed into by a car? I have not. I have not seen that. Are they okay? What is their condition? Heather, whatever, nice. Some of my running gear holds up like that. Sometimes you get the right material and it lasts forever, right? No, I'm wearing a Jupiter. You can tell by the colors. This is like a Florida color, you know, Jupiter, Florida hat, you know. You know, it's funny, the first day I was here, they have this pier. I go into the pier and there's a shop, and the hats they're selling, Juneau, Florida, they were $28, right? And I'm like, I'm not paying $28 for a hat. I go into the Walgreens and these hats are 2 for $10. So of course I bought 2. I was like, can you believe that? I almost bought a hat for $28. Now I get 2 for $10. Like, it just shows you how cheap hats can be made and what they charge for them places, right? You buy a Yankee hat, you buy a Jet hat, you buy a Miami Dolphins hat. You know, the hats are like jacked up in price. And then when you see what they actually can sell a hat for and make money, who's making these damn hats? They're made in China, Taiwan, Korea, you know, and some little kid that's 8 years old working 12 hours in a sweatshop. Regardless of who is wearing the other hat, Sergeant Bill? Oh, which hat you talking about after all? Richella Pranzo, Schmitty, Heather whatever, Giants. Okay, Heather whatever, you're a New York Giant fan. The Jets play the New England Patriots this week, and they had played them a couple of weeks ago, and they lost to them, and they were winning the game most of the game. So this weekend, let's go Jets. I've been a Jet fan since I'm like 12 years old, because I told you I grew up near Hofstra University, and I used to go watch the Jets practice all the time. It was a thrill for me as a kid to go watch the Jets practice. It was so cool. You bought $2, so wonder who's. Oh, I just keep the other hat. You need a bunch of hats because you sweat so much down here, and I throw them in the laundry and you wash them, and you can't. And I have that floppy hat. That's the best type of hat to wear when there's a lot of sun. Alice Lynn loved being a Grammy. She lives in Maine, and she's a Yankee fan, and a lot of people throw her shade for being a Yankee fan in Maine. But Maine doesn't have. Who are people in Maine? What team do they back? There's no professional sports team in Maine. So why do they throw you shade for liking the Yankees? I don't understand that. Crazy. So guys, I may go live later on this afternoon or early evening. Maybe an update on Michael Vaughn, and maybe we'll talk about the horrific case on the Idaho campus, and maybe touch upon the UVA shooting. But bad news, bad news when things like that happen. 78 in the chat, 65 with the thumbs up. Jamie Pimentel, I'm a Mets fan and a New York Ranger fan. Hockey fans, I think hockey fans got to be more affluent than almost any other fans, because hockey tickets are ridiculous how much they cost. They're so damn expensive. I remember I was in my my surgeon's office, and he's the surgeon for the New York Rangers. The orthopedic. He does shoulders, he does knees, all this other stuff. And there was some famous, and I don't know anything about hockey, but there was some famous young hockey player in the office that day, and everyone was like, the electricity was in the air that this famous young hockey player was in there getting treated, and I was just like, I have no idea who he was. And then the same doctor, his name is Modalo, he's from Hudson Valley Bone up in Westchester. He used to be the Jets orthopedic surgeon years and years ago, and he has team photos on his wall from like, I don't know, the 70s and 80s, and I was like looking at old players. I remember that guy. Oh, I remember. Because I was such a huge fan, I could probably name the whole damn team, And pretty cool, pretty cool. It must be interesting to be a doctor like that and have, these celebrity patients that you treat, amazing. And especially with a professional sports team. Martha M. Minor, do you think the internet has caused an increase in particular crimes? Well, something, a lot of crime moved off the street and moved onto the internet. Who every day doesn't get some scammer trying to get their information, right? Oh, you won this prize, you won that. I just delete that immediately. I didn't win anything. They're trying to get your information. Or even a call, Oh, Mr. Cannon, we see some fraud on you. First of all, you're a con, and just ask them a few questions, and they'll hang up on you. But yeah, so I think a lot of crime moved off the street and moved onto the internet, and it's really crazy. As I said, Heather, whatever, isn't it true? Every day you're getting notified you won something, right? And believe me, you didn't win anything, but sometimes they're so convincing that you can almost let your guard down, and it's crazy. Heather, whatever, doesn't answer her phone. Right, okie dokie, you're 100% right. You feel for the elderly because they didn't grow up with the internet. Now all of a sudden it's intruded upon their life, and we all like the convenience of ordering things from Amazon, right? Order it from Amazon and have it delivered to your door. We love that. But with that convenience, it puts us out there. It puts us out there and makes us susceptible the criminal activity, right? So, you know, if you're going to put yourself out there, look, just having a cell phone, period, is putting you out there, right? Because obviously, the cell phone is a walking, talking GPS, computer, internet, credit card, whatever you want to say. It's everything, right? Yeah, Patricia Baylor, just the last 2 days, I'm getting fake Amazon text that your account is going to be frozen. I get that too. I got something yesterday from Amazon that was just total crap. You just got to like, this is fake, you know? And you just got to delete 99% of that crap, you know? So, you know, we talk about the Michael Vaughn case, and there's nothing more horrific. No, I don't have pets. You know what it is? I'm like allergic to cats, and then some dogs. So, and not all dogs, but I don't want to like risk it. Get by a dog and fall in love with the dog, and then find myself sniffling and sneezing and not feeling well. So, I don't have any pets. I have 2 boys, grown up, 27 and 30. Those are my only pets that I had through life. My wife's always threatening to get a dog. Oh, I can get one of those Portuguese water dogs. They're hypoallergenic. I go, no, you're not getting a dog. She heard me saying that she'd go get a dog just for spite, you know. I tell you one thing, people down here love their dogs, man. They're all over the beach. Everyone brings a dog to the beach here. There's tons of dogs. Every time I go to the beach, there's dogs all over the place. I was like, wow. I didn't know that this was going to be dog central here. 73 in the chat, 68 with the thumbs up, guys. This is Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill, whatever you want to call it. But here we are. Here we are. Palm Tree Central. Let me show you all my palm trees. I'll do a little pan around the yard. There's one right there. And there's one in that corner, you see? You see the stone on the ground? Pretty cool, right? And they just planted them yesterday. And then there's the one in the corner there. So cool, right? Tutu Law Enforcement just plowed into court. Sergeant Bill, you have an awesome thumbs up rate. Well, thank you so much. Lisa Rosh, Bill, you didn't get snow last night. Well, not in Jupiter, Florida. I don't think they got it in Westchester either, or in New York City. Patricia Burns, when we see you scratching behind your ears, we know the wife won. Oh, is that the body language for the wife won? Scratching behind your ears? Schmitty says they got snow in St. Louis yesterday. What? Stars above love dogs. They're great companions. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's dogs everywhere down here in Florida. Hey, people love their dogs. You understand it, man. It's like a companion. It's like a friend, you know. When you're lonely, your dog keeps you company, right? 68 thumbs up, 72, 68 in the chat, 72 thumbs up. Lisa Rosh, we got a few inches here in Binghamton. Woof. Binghamton. That was when I went to Buff State. That was the halfway point. We'd stop in Binghamton, refuel, and head all the way up to Buffalo. Shuffle off to Buffalo. That was the rallying cry. Now, shuffle off to Buffalo. Buffalo. Chicken wings. Mighty Taco. I used to love the beer in Buffalo too. What was the beer? Stroh's. They used to have I used to love Stroh's. And they tried. It came down to New York for a while, and then it didn't make it for some reason. Lovebug 53, California is where this just happened. Hey, did you ever work with Dennis Murphy, NYPD? Did a lot at 9/11. Was Dennis Murphy, was he like an Irish off the boat guy, worked for the bomb squad? Is that the same Dennis Murphy? If that's the one who you're referring to, I never worked with him, but I know of him. I think he was like a big-time Irishman with the brogue and the whole thing, you know. And I think he was a bomb squad guy. Okie dokie, he was a wee bit nutty. Wee bit. I remember that. That's Irish lingo, wee. remember an Irishman said to me, "How's your wee boy doing?" I wasn't used, obviously little. We talk about even like language, you know, you Brits and Irish people have your own words for things, right? I used to use the example of Van Morrison, the tune Wild Night. So you brush your shoes, you stand before the mirror, and you comb your hair, you grab your coat and lout, and you walk wet streets trying to remember all the wild nights sweet in your very ever. So you brush your shoes, you grab your coat and lout. A lout is an Irish word for hat. And the merle is the mirror. And that's an Irish word for mirror. And in the first recordings of Wild Night, he used the Gaelic words. And then later on, he re-recorded it with the regular English words, you know. But pretty cool, right? Lisa Rosh, thank you. Guys, so good to see everyone. Kim Allison, that's great. Kim Mine likes to stay under my bed and climb in from time to time. Van Morrison, man, he, you know, I don't think a lot of people really know that he's Irish, you know, because most great musicians well, there's some great Irish ones, of course, U2, right? Bono, Rory Gallagher, and that's how they say Gallagher in Ireland, is Gallagher. He was a beast of a blues guitarist. Unfortunately, died at the age of 47. He was fantastic. I woke up and had to listen to Phil Collins this AM. He does Phil Collins, what a great voice, you know. Heard Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues today for Christmas. My favorite Christmas song, Fairy Tale of New York. Just incredible. It's Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, that rare old Mountain Dew. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18-1. I got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas. I love you, baby. Won't be a better time when all our dreams come true. Great tune, man. Really great tune. I think everyone that hears that tune, they're like, wow, where'd that come from? Ooh, who wrote that song? You know, every time someone hears that for the first time, they're like, wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's called Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. And the famous one is, he does it with Christy, the last name is McNichol, I think. He sings a duet, right? You know, I always forget his name, the singer from the Pogues. But Bob Dylan just played in Dublin recently. Schmitty, I love the Supreme Commander soundtrack. I love that. No, I brought my guitar with me down here. I play a little bit every day. Not as much as I'd like to, you know. Guys, give me the name of the singer of Fairy Tale of New York. I keep forgetting his name, and Kirsty MacColl's father wrote it, but what the name of the singer that's famous for that? That's missing all his teeth. Anyway, Bob Dylan played in Dublin in the last few weeks, and he did a shout out to him, and he said that Fairy Tale of New York is his favorite Christmas song. Imagine the legendary songwriter, folk songwriter Bob Dylan saying to you, that's my favorite song. I mean, that's one hell of a tribute. Shane McGowan, right? Shane McGowan is his name, right? And you ever hear a singer that sometimes can go off key, but it works? That's him. When you hear him singing Fairy Tale, sometimes he goes off key a little bit, but it somehow still works, you know, and you're like, wow, you know, and the way he phrases it, you know, I love you, baby, won't be a better time when all our dreams come true. They got cars big as bars, they got rivers of gold, but the wind goes right through, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome, you were pretty, queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they cried out for more. Sinatra was singing, all the drunks they were singing. We kissed on the corner and danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay. And the drums were ringing out on Christmas Day. I could have been someone, and so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you. I took them with me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you. Guys, I'm coming close to the end here. I'm at 47 minutes. I sang more of that song than I intended. I didn't know if I would remember all the words. Fairy Tale of New York, everyone's favorite Christmas tune, you know. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tune. Love Bug, you should make a CD, Bill. Everyone loves you singing. Thank you, but you know something, it's really, it's just a hobby. There's nothing I do with this professionally. It's fun. I like to sing and I like to play the guitar, and it's a hell of a good time. And I want to thank all you guys for joining me this afternoon. Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill, whatever you want to call this show. I'm going to now, and not to rub it in, not to gloat, I'm going to now go to the beach after this and sit down and just enjoy. Lisa Rosh, we love you, Bill. Thank you so much, Lisa. That's so very kind. Always much better to be loved than to be hated, right? For sure. It was so fun to be on Duty Ron's show last night. I haven't been on his show in a long time. I used to go on his show pretty often. But now he's got Ed Wallace. He doesn't need me, you know. He's got the master of crime scenes, you know. Brad Pepe, Bon Jovi sang Fairy Tale of New York too. Yeah, I saw him. I didn't like his version. The Pogues are the best, you know. Yeah, I heard him. And Bon Jovi also sang that famous song, Hallelujah. I lost the key. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't even care for music, do you? It goes like this, the fourth and fifth, the final fall, the major lift, the baffling king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. It's hard to get the correct pitch. Like if you get the correct pitch in the beginning, you're all right. If you pick the wrong note, then you're off key for the whole thing, you know? That's a great tune. Yeah. Great, great tune. Kim Allison, Sergeant B, you're the Supreme Commander of Police off the cuff. We love you, all the best. Well, thank you so much, Kim. Very nice. Got to get the right key to begin with. Yeah, that's the key. I like the key. But if you have a guitar or an instrument you play, you get the pitch in your ear. But if you just picking the pitch out of the air, it's not always right to pick the exact correct pitch. Thomas Jordan, good to see you, buddy. Guys, I got about 20 seconds left. I want to thank everyone for coming by this afternoon. I want everyone to have a wonderful day. And God bless. And Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.